welcome everyone. And I just have some really great news. We started our chapter for the Santa Cruz. That was great. It's been something that I wanted to do for a while, so it worked out really good. So more to come on that, and hopefully some of you can go up there and join when we do some things with them. So I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor for August is Marian Gallatley, and then she's the CEO of Powerful Presence. Marian empowers women to look and feel their best since 1991. And then also a shout out to Stephanie Shield, the CEO of Bookkeeping Central. And she's new. She just acquired Bookkeeping Central from our wonderful Eileen Grove. So we'll be missing Eileen, but Eileen's taken really good care of us all these years, keeping our books straight. Also join us for our next virtual meeting, which is the Six Figure Think Tank, hosted by the award-winning Patty Farmer. Coming up September 14th at 1 p.m. and this is a member-only benefit. We'll move on to our member introductions, and what I want to do is go kind of quickly, so don't go over like 30 seconds, and then we'll get through those, and then we can have a couple of breakout rooms if we don't take too long on those, and then we'll get to our wonderful speaker. We're going to get our Feng Shui on, so I'm excited about that. So let's start with Jody.
Okay, well, I have recently been, not really acquired, but collaborating with a woman. Her name's Lucy Vincent. She's in Long Island, and we are collaborating to help female entrepreneurs launch and scale world-class marketing agencies. So we are in that because we both run digital agencies, and we are specializing in helping people get their social media aspect of the marketing agency really dialed in. Women who are anywhere from 18, 19 in college, all the way into like 43, depending on where they're at, we'll move them into the CEO role. The goal is not teaching them how to do it, it's teaching them how to be the CEO.
Very nice. Nice. Want to hear more about that. Sandra Collingwood has been my mentor for over 20 some years. She took me under her wing when I first joined PWN in the 90s. Sandra.
My business is Super Spotter, Spot Remover, and this is the largest size it comes in, 1/2 gallon. And you can use it to clean your carpet, no desire, and it's the world's finest.
Nice, and that really works good too. I use it on them before I do laundry a lot of times. Sandra, what year were you the Woman of the Year?
1998.
1998. Awesome.
And I love this group, and I will never leave until I go to heaven.
Oh, so nice. Thank you. And Jody's our 2022 Woman of the Year. So for you, so awesome. And we do have our next event for Woman of the Year. It's going to be held at the Hyatt December 7th. It's going to be a dancing and food and just lots of good stuff. So maybe some of you can come that are out of town, I'm hoping. Let's go to Miss Patty Farmer.
Hi everyone. So my name is Patty Farmer. I am a marketing and media strategist and a magazine publisher and a podcast host and an event producer. So I'm really excited about that. What I'm excited about right now is my event next month in New York City. 15 years we've done this event. This year we're going to have 106 people in person, only 4 of them from the United States. Everyone else is coming from Europe. So I am really excited about this event. And we will be talking about how to attract and convert your ideal clients and how to make your marketing profitable, not painful.
Oh, great. When is that event, Patty?
What is it or when is it?
When is it? What's the date?
September 18th.
Oh, nice. Wow, you always have something going on.
I know, it's exciting.
Very dynamic. CJ.
I'm Carolyn CJ Jones, and I go by CJ. I'm a forgiveness coach and an award-winning and medal-winning author. My passion is to guide you to a place where you can resolve and release resentment, forgive, and find peace.
Very good. And resentment can run in that background though, if you don't nip it in the bud. Thank you. Thank you for
It
speaking on
runs
that so
away
much.
with you.
So important. Katerina.
Hi, everybody. Katerina Rando, serving women in business on a mission, supporting you to speak authentically, sell with more ease, and bliss more in your business. What I'm most excited about is this week we release the 100th episode of our podcast, Expand Your Fempire. And I just did my Shiro Speaker Summit Friday, Saturday, which is all about using speaking to grow and thrive in your business. And on the 31st of this month is my free workshop on achieving sales bliss. Bing, bing, bing.
Yay.
You're all invited. And more to say, I'll stop there. Happy to be with you.
100 episodes. Wow. You know, they're so fresh and lively. I thought you were just kind of starting with just so 100 is great. Yeah, there you've got that exuberance like from day one. So that's good. Charlie King.
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Charlie King from Charlie's Choices. I am an advocate for the plant. I want to educate everyone on CBD from the hemp plant. I want everyone to learn about hemp and what it is, where it comes from, and how to get the best, because I believe it's your health, your life, your choice.
Yes, you are so knowledgeable. I mean, if you go to our YouTube, right, Jody, you go to the YouTube channel, you can pull her up on Ask the Expert. We were blown away by her knowledge. It was so, I didn't expect it, that there was so much knowledge behind it. And it was really good. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
The pet stuff too, for my pets. I really love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys saw, I just got a new dog. We've had him for 3 weeks now. He's a 1.5 old
Yeah.
Shih Tzu, and we're getting to know each other. And so the pet CBD has come in very helpful.
Yes. Marion.
Let's see. I am Marian Gallantley. I am a style and wardrobe coach, one of only 29 certified image masters in the world. And I'm not going to say anything more because I'm going to be your showcase today. I guess I could say I'm the 2020 Woman of the Year and I'm PWN's Programs Director.
Yes. That was a good year. Patricia.
Hello, it's really nice to be here. I see a couple of familiar faces. I know Katerina and Linda. Thank you for the welcome. I'm really excited to be part of this group. And my company is Mindful Editing. I'm an editor and I help people with their writing projects, whether it's a business content or a creative pursuit. And I help them by reviewing and revising their work so that it's elevated to a high standard and ready to go out into the world. I'm currently helping someone with a screenplay, which is pretty exciting. Another client with a series of short stories, but I do really love business documents, and I'm really like kind of itching to help people with either website content or training materials, standard operating procedures, whatever. So that's me.
Oh, nice, nice. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Julianne.
Oh, hey, everybody. Julianne Wutke. I am a health coach and vibrant aging expert, and I basically help professional women. I'm going to borrow Marion's phrase, 50 and better, to feel and look their best ever. And I'm excited that this next week I get to interview my esthetician. She helps a lot of women 50 and better with issues surrounding their skin. So be watching for that interview next week.
Oh, nice. I love your interviews.
Oh, thanks.
So good. They're relaxed. They're kind of chill. They're very informative. It's nice. They're refreshing. Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda Lenore. I'm a speaker and an award-winning author. I actually wrote my first book in 1998, and it won best self-published book in the independent book stores back then. Which was
Wow.
really wonderful. It was right when Amazon was starting to take over and all this stuff. So that was cool. I am an interior designer. I'm a Feng Shui Master. I was one of the first 3 non-Asian masters in North America. And I also am a certified green building professional and universal design specialist. So what I do is I help to heal homes. I help you to create spaces that are healthy, that are happy, that are harmonious, so that you can have the life that you want.
Nice. Yes.
And I will say, I was Katarina's number 8 podcast, and we talked about fun, friendship, and feng shui.
And you are our speaker today.
Yes,
I am that too.
cool. The connections that are made are just phenomenal anymore. Joanne.
Hi, I'm Joanne Gessner, and I am the director of the Monterey Transcendental Meditation Center. I've been teaching Transcendental Meditation for 46 years, and 15 years here on the peninsula. And I'm most excited about, now I'm in the process of getting certified to be a consciousness advisor, which is incorporating additional modalities that Maharishi Mahesh Yogi brought out, including Maharishi Ayurveda, Maharishi Vastu Architecture, and more. Many modalities devoted to aspects of improving health. And as I get certified to do this, I've written on much of this topic, many of these topics over these years, and now I'm speaking more about it, and I'll be able to be an advisor to offer people lots of modalities that'll help them increase their success, happiness, balance, and whatever it is, improve health, whatever it is they want in life. There's something that'll help them with that.
Always improving, Joanne. So, that's what I love about you.
Round 2. I'd love to introduce Marian Gellatley. Marian is PWN's program director and the 2020 Woman of the Year, also a longstanding member of PWN. She has made her 30-year career as an award-winning style and image coach. She's a certified image master, only one of 29 in the world, and also an engaging speaker, a recognized leader in the field of style and management. Marian's passion is helping professional women 50 and better to gain confidence in authentic dressing and fulfill their potential by using image and style as a powerful business attraction tool. Marian believes that your style speaks and is a powerful communicator. She will guide you in making your style authentic to you. Take it away, Marian.
Yeah, thank you all for being here, because Linda Lenore is a dynamic speaker, and so I'm excited to have all of you come and hear her today. But for the moment, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and just ask you a question, and that is, did you know that your personal style has the power to transform your life? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because it can change how you feel about yourself. It can change how others perceive you, and it can change the kinds of opportunities and the kinds of people that are attracted to you. I've experienced it myself, I can tell you, and I have seen many of my clients who also have experienced transformation after they aligned their style and their image with who they wanted to be. So you might say to me, Marian, how is that possible? Isn't style just about buying the latest and the cute clothes in the marketplace today? Well, no. Style is really about choosing clothes and creating looks that really reflect your desired identity. For example, maybe you have never been on the stage before to speak and you want to do that. So, how do you show up as an engaging speaker? or you may be starting a new successful, hopefully entrepreneurial business, and you want people to see you in that light. Or maybe you're a community volunteer that's going to be raising money or raising funds for a particular organization. So whatever that identity is that you want to take on at this part of your life, you want to think about that. Because when you wear clothes that reflect that desired identity, you do become that version of yourself. It's a phenomenon that is known as enclothed cognition, and numerous psychological studies have proven it to be real. So my passion is working with women, as we say, 50 and better, who want to shake up their style world, who want to be strategic, but want to do it authentically. So they, number one, can achieve their goals. They can save time they spend on getting dressed. They can save money by not putting stuff into the closet that isn't going to serve them and then just hangs there wasteful. And that will end their wardrobe frustrations so that they can show up powerfully, looking and feeling great about themselves. So I just want to ask you, when you look in the mirror, do you see the woman right now who's ready to make her biggest impact? And if yes, perfect. But if not, I just want to ask you, is it time for you to leave that style insecurity and that self-doubt in the rear view mirror and gain the confidence that you want to show up powerfully in your life? So one of three ways that we can connect with one another. The first one is to schedule a 30-minute complimentary style clarity session with me. The second way is for you to take my style satisfaction quiz, which is on the homepage of my website, powerful-presence.com. And the third one is to join me each and every Friday at 12 noon Pacific time in my private Facebook group called Empowered Style for Successful Women Entrepreneurs. I do a Fashion Flair Friday every Friday at noon, and I'm always talking about how we can move forward with our style and how to use different things that we see in the marketplace for us, and so we can be authentic and can show up to be our best selves. So I'll put the links in the chat for those three options. Take one of them, take all of them, whichever you prefer. But all I want you to think about is that when your style and your wardrobe is aligned with your goals, your lifestyle, your preferences, and the impact that you want to make in the world, it will create a force that transforms your life. So thanks very much.
Wow, that was a great presentation, Marianne.
Thanks, my buddy.
I wish we would just could learn so much. You could just teach us how to do presentations too. That would be amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you have a class, or is it too late to sign up for that? Did you mention your class?
Well, I didn't mention it. It is not too late to sign up, but it does start today.
Oh my goodness, so it's not too late.
4 p.m. today. And if you cannot make it, it's a 3-month program called Empowered Style to Call Your Own. And in that program, I take women who really want to get style clarity and want to build their style and do it for themselves. We work on the 7 pillars for style development. So all the classes are recorded. You can watch them anytime, but it's a combination of live training, group coaching, and private one-on-one coaching as well. So it is powerful-presence.com/empowered-style.
Maybe you could put that
Should
in.
you want to?
Jody put it in for you. Jody put it in the chat for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jody.
You can click right on it. Thank you, Jody.
Yes. And should you want to sign up, then I will do something special for those of us that are here, and that is to give you the $500 discount early bird price that expired a couple of weeks ago. But if you would like to join, I'll give you that $500 discount, and all you have to do is put August 2022 in capital letters in the code, and you'll be in with a savings of $500.
Wow, that's a offer you cannot refuse. So ladies, jump on it. And now, Marian, you can introduce our speaker, if you would.
I will. I'm very excited to introduce Linda Lenore. She is one of the first non-Asian women Feng Shui Masters. She blends all ancient wisdom schools with Western design principles. She's an American Society of Interior Designers, the ASID. She is a distinguished speaker, and she's a former University of California faculty member, teaching the first course combining Feng Shui with green, sustainable design build principles. Her TV appearances include Lifetime Media, the Hallmark Channel, and all national television channels. She's been featured in syndicated Asian newspapers, lifestyle magazines, and the front page of major newspapers like the San Jose Mercury News. Her clients include Adobe Systems, Apple Computer, Bank of the West, San Francisco Chinatown, and the First Republic Bank and the Ritz-Carlton. She's known for creating corporate and home environments that stimulate success and soothe the soul. So let's give a big round of applause and a big welcome to Linda Lenore.
Thank you, everyone. It's delightful to be here. I am so excited. Marian, thank you very much for inviting me. It's interesting that we had our question for the breakout. What are your dreams? So let's start off with that. What are your dreams? Are you manifesting them? How can you help to manifest them easier? Well, it turns out that your home is a three-dimensional vision board, and I'll be talking more about that in the course of this program. Let me give you a brief background how I got into Feng Shui, and let me also get clarification, because I know we had some tech issues. How long do I have so I stay within that time frame? Marian?
About 40 minutes, including Q&A. And
Okay.
what I'll do is I'll just hold up this little yellow paper when you have about 2 minutes left. How's that?
I will do my best to see it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, don't put it in the chat, because then I go down, squirrel.
Got it.
Okay. I have this background in interior design because I got into doing design work in my own home because I wanted to have a nice home, but I have a math science background, so I didn't know how to design a home. In the process of taking some classes, I met some ladies. We decided that we'd start our own business in interior design, but the college didn't teach us how to run a business. I went to a trade show that was focused on that. Walked in at the last day, sat down in the front row of the auditorium, didn't pay attention to what was going on behind me. All of a sudden, it was time to start. Gentleman walked in black robes. He had 6 other people behind him in a processional, and he only spoke Mandarin. This was my introduction to Feng Shui. This was in probably about 1986. And the technology then was overhead projectors and transparencies. Just to give you an idea of what was going on. Every now and then he'd say, good Feng Shui. Translator would get up. Thank goodness there was a translator. And he'd explain what the good Feng Shui was. Everyone was taking notes. When he said bad Feng Shui, everyone was going, oh! They're still taking notes. They don't want the bad Feng Shui. He takes out a clean transparency, puts a drawing on it, puts it on the projector, says something about bad Feng Shui, and there is a huge gasp in the audience. When the translator gets up, he says, if this is your house, if this is the configuration, if this is a child's bedroom, the child's health can be compromised to the point that the child could die. What he had drawn was my house. It was my son's room, Jeff's room, and Jeff had died just a few months before. That was my introduction to Feng Shui. I ran out of the auditorium, knowing I was being disrespectful, found a place, cried my heart out, and discovered there was another 3-hour presentation later that afternoon that was a continuation. I had to go back, but I wasn't sitting in the front row like I had been before. I'm in the back row so I can make a quick exit if I need to. Jeff died of malignant brain tumor, just to let you know, and he was 13 years of age, because those are usually questions that are going on in the back of your mind. we didn't have the internet. There were no books on Feng Shui. I finally, after 6 months, discovered a class at the University of San Francisco. And at the time I lived down in Los Gatos. So most of you know that general location. So I was driving along 280 until it ended, because 280 didn't go all the way into San Francisco back then. It was an interesting journey on many different levels. That's another story for another day. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you what Feng Shui is. I say Feng Shui because the Mandarin pronunciation is Feng Shui, but it can be Feng Shui, Feng Shui, Feng Shui, so many dialects, so many different possibilities. Whatever way you say it, that will be just fine. It refers to wind and water. Feng is wind, Shui is water. Those are the elements that have carved out the landscaping. They're also the elements we need to live. What I'm going to share with you are some of the traditional concerns by Asian buyers, just to give you an idea. That'll give you a little bit of background, a little bit of the symbology. And I'm going to turn on my slideshow now so that I make sure that I get everything on there that I want to share with you. All right. So everything's working well. All right, so Feng Shui is an art, science, or philosophy. And if you have a question, if I'm not clear about something during the course of this presentation, either jump in, unmute yourself, ask the question, or I'll raise your hand. I can see a few people in the participants or in the chat area. So if you need to, I'll try to answer things quickly. So it is an art, science, and philosophy. There are several different schools. There's about a dozen different schools of Feng Shui. Some of them are based on religion. So there's one school that's based on Buddhism, one on Catholicism, one on Taoism. But there's some schools that don't have any spiritual or religious connection. Some are very common sense. Some of them look at the wind patterns, north, south, east, west, where the sun rises, where it sets. So there's different schools of Feng Shui, and that's where some of the confusion arises, because a person may know, one of the rules, and that's associated with a specific school. And then they go to a different school, or they'd hear someone else say something that is based on a different school. So, and as I said, I'm going to share with you some of the different concerns of home buyers, because that will help you to understand a little bit more about Feng Shui. Originally, Feng Shui was based so that the ancestors, when they are buried, would have their spirit, the ability for their spirit to head back to the homeland. Here is Skylon, which is located between Half Moon Bay and San Mateo, and about 30 miles south of San Francisco, where this particular section of the memorial park has been set up with an unobstructed view or pathway to Asia, so that when an ancestor is buried here, their spirit can leave and head to Asia, to the homeland. And that's one of the first things about Feng Shui. There are that we're honoring the ancestors, and that we're also looking at the spirit within our body and how it interacts with the various energies. There's a lot of symbology. You've got the dragon tigers at the, or lions at the gate here as protectors to ward away negative energy. We've even got red flowers to attract good energy. So there's a lot of symbology within Feng Shui that you will see especially when you go to Chinatown, you will find it, or many of the people that own homes, what they are able to do with their homes, they will incorporate Feng Shui principles to have the best energy possible. As I mentioned, Feng Shui refers to wind and water. Those are the elements that have carved out the landscaping. And when we look at nature, everything flows. There aren't straight lines. There aren't buildings that are made with 2x4s or 4x8 sheets of plywood. There's movement, circular. There's irregular shapes. That's the natural flow of energy. And you can see what is man-made. Very old picture, but it shows what we need. San Mateo Bridge between San Mateo and Hayward in the middle of the San Francisco Bay, and the middle of that picture. And then in the lower left-hand side, you will see San Francisco Airport. And then in the lower right-hand corner, you will see the roads that are following the natural curvatures of the mountaintop. The very first time that I did anything for a realtor was this particular house. I had mentioned in a presentation that negative energy follows a straight line. She called me and said, the house above this house had a suicide, the house below burnt to the ground. The house has been on the market for about 4 to 5 months in a normal market. This was 25 or so years ago. And it's not selling. So I went there, I worked with it a little bit, and literally as I was walking out, a couple walked in to see the house and they made an offer on it within 3 days. Now I'm not going to, I don't have time to go into all the different things, but that's how quickly you can change the energy of a environment that doesn't have the right energy to make it the right energy for whatever task or desired outcome you want. One of the schools of Feng Shui is known as landform or armchair school Feng Shui. This illustration, and I have a picture that I'll show you that follows this. This illustration explains what the armchair position is. It's where you have a mountain behind you. It's like the back of a chair. And then you have a mountain on either side, or a mountain range on either side, like the arms of a mountain range, or the arms of a chair. And then you have a view as you walk out the front door. Now, this is contrary to what most buyers want. They're usually buying a house so that when you walk out the back door, you have this incredible view. But what happens is that you're actually losing energy. You're losing support in a situation like that. There are things that you can do to change it. And the true landform school of Feng Shui wants you to have a mountain behind you and have the view in front so that you see the opportunities as you are walking out of the house for the day's work. Here's Pacifica, a little community south of San Francisco, where we've got the mountains around the town. We've got the mountain behind it, and on either side, there's even this little condo complex that has the mountain around it, and both of them face towards the ocean so that they have the view of water. Water equates to health and wealth. All right. When one of the other schools, actually there's several schools that use the bagua. Ba is 8, gua is sides. So we have this 8-sided object that actually represents every part of our body, every part of our life. It has colors and elements and body parts associated with it. And this is one of the tools that we can use to create our home or our workplace so that it has the right energy so that we can manifest the dreams that we want, the things that we want in our life. I speak on this about 3 to 5 hours, depending upon the detail that I go into. So let's just start with this part of it, that you can have a door on the left-hand side, the middle, or the right. That's going to be your front door walking into the house. And then you're going to have in that back left corner of the house, it's going to be the wealth area. In the back right corner is the partnership area. And in the middle, as you're walking in, is going to be career. Now, you may have walked in what would be the area of knowledge on the left-hand side, or you may be walking into the house on the right-hand side into helpful people. But the career area, which is how money comes in, is that middle section at the front part of the house. So I want you to think for a moment, what do you have in the middle section of the front part of your house? If there's anything broken, something that needs repaired, clutter, objects that you don't like, they could all have an energy that's stopping you from having money come in the way you want to, or having you be able to move forward in your career. And then money leaves through that wealth area, that back left corner. So if you've got doors or windows, money could be leaving a little bit quicker than what you want. That back right corner is the area of partnership. I'm not going to go through all the other areas. I'm just going to give you those 3 main areas because those are usually the ones that most people come to me about. So partnership has to do with 3 different types of partnership, and they can you can do it for all three or any one or two of those. So if your spouse or significant other, it's often called the marriage corner. It's also business relationships. So like the realtor and the mortgage broker, or like Marion, the fashion stylist supporter, so that you can become and represent who you really are. So that would be a partnership. It can also be a spiritual connection, where you are connecting to your source, higher power, whatever is your terminology, your God. So those are the three of the areas that you may want to check out and see if you've got anything broken, needs repair, don't like something, or clutter, just to give you some ideas. Now I'm going to talk about the lower two areas in just a moment on this next slide. Now, what you will do is you will divide the space into thirds roughly. You don't have to get out a tape measure. Roughly into thirds, both directions, and figure out where those areas are located. And if you have a house that's not square, like this example, in the lower left-hand side, we actually show that you would be missing some areas. The areas you would be missing on the lower left would be knowledge and a part of the career. On the lower right-hand side, that back right corner, you're missing part of the energy of partnership or relationship. So it might be harder for you to develop close relationships with a significant other or in business. We want to look at, is the house itself square or rectangular, or does it have missing pieces? It can also have extra pieces. For instance, on that lower right-hand side, you have an area that sticks out in front of the front door. It's just a little small one because of the drawing here. Oftentimes you'll have a garage that is in front of the front door, or a dining room. Often what happens when we have a dining room that's sticking out in front of the front door, we wind up having, you're eating your meals out more often instead of dining at home, because it feels like it's not attached to the house. My daughter's bedroom for most of her life was outside the house, was in front of the front door. She is probably one of the most independent people because she had to be. That's the energy of having something that is in front of the front door. She defends everything. She is the gatekeeper. She always has been. I don't know if it's because she was always in that position and she picked up on that energy, or if that's her nature. And I've seen it happen more than once. So when you see things happening hundreds of times, maybe gives it a little bit more validity than just a coincidence. Now here's showing you, if you have a rectangle, how you would elongate the bagua, so that instead of having 9 squares, you would have 9 rectangles. Let me give you a couple of the traditional issues with Asian buyers and explain some of those, because that may help you to understand some of the principles of Feng Shui. So, the number 4 is spelled exactly the same as the word for death. And because the language is a very tonal language, oftentimes, especially as we get a little bit older, Marian, I'm in your 50 better, way better category. Our hearing sometimes is not as good as we'd like it to be. And so let's say that a young couple has bought this house and the address is 684, but when they're telling their grandparents, when they are first going to come to visit, that the address is 684, they may hear 68 death. And when you're getting older, the word death has a little bit different ring than when you're younger. So you might not be as inclined to want to go to visit this house of death. Having houses at the top of the T intersection. I'm at a street, there's no stop sign. And if I didn't apply the brakes or turn, I would run into this house. At the very least, at night, you have headlights shining into these houses. In the worst case scenarios, cars do run into them. I know one place in Menlo Park that there was a house that had been run into 7 times. They finally put up a wall, a cement wall, to stop people from running into it. So we don't like to have a house at the top of a T intersection. And if it's not an Asian buyer that you're working with, there's things that you can do from a landscaping perspective that can change that energy. So any of these things that I share with you, if you've got that situation, reach out to me. I'll tell you some of the ways that you can change it. 10-minute conversation and you'll be good to go. So no fear. This is all possibilities, everything that you can possibly do. I've got ideas and we can brainstorm them. Okay. Now, the Asian buyers will not buy a home that is close to a cemetery or a church where they have funerals, because the belief is that the spirit leaves the body after, after the death. And if it hasn't left the body prior to being buried, now, I know a little bit gruesome, it winds up leaving and it finds the closest building. So here's the house that's closest to this cemetery. It does feel a little bit haunted, doesn't it? Having an irregular shaped lot is not preferred in the Asian buyers. They would like to have a square rectangular one, whereas Western buyers like the idea of being on a cul-de-sac because there's not as much traffic. The Asian perspective is there's not as much traffic, there's not as much opportunity coming your way. And then we don't like to have, they don't like to have the irregular shaped lots, the triangles or the diamonds or the points and things like this, because it's limiting energy coming to you, or it has stuck energy. There's lots of fixes for each one of these. So if you live on a cul-de-sac, draw me a picture of what your lot looks like, and I can give you some suggestions very quickly. We don't like to have sharp or pointed objects coming towards a building. This is up in San Mateo, and this building was pointed towards Fashion Island Mall. If any of you remember that, there was a Bullock store there. It was a great store, loved it. A couple of things were wrong with it. It had a tent ceiling, which meant that the sunlight came through all the time, which also meant that it faded clothes. I'm sure that Marion knows all about that. So this actually, that whole shopping mall was attacked, it felt like it was being attacked, and it wound up being closed. We called it the dying mall, the dead mall. And now this actual building points towards the Sony PlayStation, but they've got a large body of water between that point and their building. Water is wealth, and it stops that pointed energy. So some things that were done from a Feng Shui perspective, I know because I investigated to offset that energy. Now, I had a notice that someone had raised their hand, but I don't see that now. If you have another question, please raise your hand again.
It was me, and I just wrote it down, so I'll ask you when you get done.
Perfect. Thank you very, very much. Okay. We don't want to have dead or dying things in front of the house because, again, that energy of death. This house was on the market for over a year. They cut down the tree that was dying and it sold within 3 weeks. We don't want to have trees blocking the entrance. You want to be able to see the entrance to a home. You want to be able to see when you're in the home looking out. The story goes that Bruce Lee had a house similar to this, that the tree was blocking his view. He had some of what they call the bagua mirrors. They had little mirrors up all around the tree to deflect the negative energy. There was a big storm, a monsoon or something, and at least one or more of the mirrors fell down. No one noticed, and a week later he was killed. So this is where the belief systems come in when you start seeing things like that happening. We don't want to have stairs in direct alignment with the door because your energy goes out, that your health and your wealth go down those stairs and right out the door too quickly. Quick solution, should you have that, a rug that has some red in it. Red is an activating color. It catches your attention. It stops the energy from flowing out too quickly. Beams can be problematic in many schools of Feng Shui. They don't like to have them over a bed. And I actually had a series of probably 25 or 30 women who had chronic fatigue syndrome. And when I went back to when they were diagnosed, they all were sleeping under a beam. Now, this particular beam divides the partnership. When you have a beam like this that divides the energy comes down the beam and it separates the two individuals, there's more divorces there. I literally have seen hundreds of homes like this, and they've gone through divorces. Now, there are solutions. Here's some beams. This is a very old, not great picture, but it shows do something from a design perspective where you drape something that's symbolically holding the beams up, softening those beams, keeping the energy up high rather than coming down on you. We look at how the energy comes to a home. Having a circular driveway is great because you've got two entrances. So if you can have a couple of walkways or a driveway and a walkway coming up to your home, that's going to bring you more energy. We're talking from the street up to your home. We also look at other things that are energy attractors. Having a red front door is often one of the things that the Asian culture will do. Having a welcome mat, having flowers, plant by the door. Sometimes it's a fence, maybe it's a statue, could be of a dog, or with the food dogs that they have from various Asian cultures. But having things that greet you and that are protectors by that front door are what we want to do. And having high ceilings, not in the bedroom. Bedrooms, we want to keep them between 8 and 10 feet. But having a ceiling that is in the 12 to 14 foot high in the entryway, in the living room, that's fine. Above 16 feet, your energy gets dispersed too much. So we want to keep the ceilings within proportion to the human body. And having wide doors allows more energy to come in. Clutter. I'm going to take a drink of water while you breathe deeply, everyone, okay? I actually have a course. I started 25 years ago as a member of National Association of Professional Organizers with a course of 22 areas that clutter affects our lives. Now, that's a whole course. And I actually do clutter busting courses where you can learn the tips and suggestions from professional organizers, and then I actually have time when you can do some of the decluttering. You can find that on my website under courses, and I will be starting the hands-on sessions again in September. So if clutter is one of the things, it's a very loving time frame together. We share what it is we want to work on, we work on it, and then we share our successes during the course of the hour, 90-minute sessions that we have. The clutter here is because of all the angles in the bedroom. This lady wanted to get pregnant. Well, she's got her office in the bedroom and she's got all this clutter. She knew intuitively that, on a subconscious level, let's put it that way, that those angles, the architecture was attacking her. And so she put up a defense, a barrier or a buffer of her own things to soften, to protect her from that energy. And it resulted in clutter. Well, we removed the clutter, we got the office out of her bedroom, and she got pregnant within a month or two. I love success stories. Okay, this is one of my clients who called me or connected with me just before COVID started. And she needed a job. That's what she said. I need a job. Simple little things. You can see that she has the shoes outside of her apartment, her front porch. I said, remove the shoes, put something red outside your front door, and bring in a wind chime. Well, she already had the wind chime. You can see that. So she changed out the hummingbird feeder and put in a red bird feeder. She got rid of the shoes, and she had a job within a week. And she keeps coming back because there's something else that she keeps wanting. So, about every 2 to 3 months we connect and she, okay, well, I want to do this. And I said, okay, this is where you need to work. Now, this is my greatest teacher. In 1990, I was going through a divorce, a bankruptcy, had been diagnosed with cancer. Both my mother and son had died within 6 months of each other, a few years before that. And I needed a place to live. This is the house in Redwood City. Now, for some of you, you might pick up on this date, October 17th of 89, things kind of went rocking and rolling. So this is the house prior to the rocking and rolling. A year later, I actually wound up buying or renting this house. And ultimately I bought this house, even though I went through a bankruptcy, because I knew Feng Shui. And the reason that no one wanted to touch this house was because the previous owner, the person that lived here, that's roughly this time, had shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself and killed himself in the house. Now that's a bad feng shui house, but I knew how to clear it. I knew how to work with it. And I will show you an after picture in a couple minutes. Well, there it is right there. So I incorporated feng shui principles, did curb appeal. We've got water features, waterfalls, ponds, lots of color. Not going to go into all of these things. There's multiple walkways going up to that house. When we sold it 4 years ago, we did the marketing where I actually went in and I did tours of the house according to feng shui. I did a tour on universal design. I did another tour on green and sustainable practices that we used in this. And I did that both days of the open houses on the weekend. And a couple from South Africa came to all of them. They offered 25% over the asking price, which there was another house 4 houses away, same size, same square footage, same number of bedrooms, etc. And our house sold for 25% over that. That's why I can live here in Washington where I do. So remember that your home is a 3D vision board. That Bogwood will teach you how to, where to locate the different things. And if you look at this is a vision board that I created about 10 years ago. And almost every single one of the things that I have here has come to pass, because I placed them in the right area on the vision board, and I did the same type of work within the home itself, so that I'm working with the home, with the energies of the home to create that power. And let's see, I wanted to say, okay, so the 3 areas that you want that are most important for your health: the front door, the kitchen, and the bedroom. So make sure that you check those out as you have a chance. Get rid of the clutter, the broken, the repair. Make sure your door is open completely. Make sure that you don't have sharp knives out in the kitchen. Put them in a drawer. My husband's an ex-policeman. He said, you want to know where the knives are. You don't want the robber to know where the knives are. Okay. So some common sense. Some of it is feng shui. All right. And so wrapping things up, if you want to learn more about feng shui, I did a series of 27 tips in roughly 1-minute videos that I put together for this program that you can, it's regularly $97. You get 50% off with the code PWN27. I can put that in the chat a little bit later on. These videos, play one of them, go do it. 1 to 2 minute video, go do it. And then you'll be able to change the areas that are most important. They're the questions or the areas that I get asked the most or have the most impact for you, so that this is how you can change your life. Remember, I went from a house where the previous owner killed himself to living in my dream home with my gardens that I love, so I can give flowers away to everyone. I get to see bald eagles. It's everything that I wanted to do. And I do need to thank, Katarina for insisting that I come up with a compelling vision back in 2011, which started this ball rolling in 2015 when we went to Vancouver Island, which is where I wanted to go. So now I get to see Vancouver Island. So what is your dream? What are your dreams? Are you manifesting them? Your home is a beautiful 3D vision board. Work with it, create with it, heal it. I'm also known as the healing designer. Let me help you heal your home and heal your heart.
Wonderful, Linda. Fabulous. Boy, I have all kinds of questions. I'm sure some of you do too. So anybody want to raise their hand and ask their question? Charlie, you had a question.
I have 3.
Okay.
Actually, I have 4.
I'll try to keep them succinct.
Okay. You said for health, it's the kitchen, the front door, and
your bedroom.
Bedroom.
Yeah, your bedroom. Now, because that's where you sleep. Those are the 3 main areas. Now if you've got another person in your life, a child or someone else living with you, and their health is what you're looking at, then it's going to be their bedroom that you're wanting to focus on. Okay, next question.
What if you live on a street that's a circle? It's not a cul-de-sac. It's you come in like this and it tees and then it goes back out to the main road.
Okay. There's different belief systems. The fact that the energy moves around, I would say it's fine. There may be some unknown things. And if you've got any questions about it, send me a picture of the map and I'll see if there's anything that comes up.
Okay. So you had the slide of the
Dogwood?
the houses that are square.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
I did some print screens, so I have the other one, but I'd like to see, could I print screen that square house format
Reach out
that you
to
have?
me, or is there a way that I can send it to everyone? Because I'm sure that you all want it.
It'll be in the recording too. We're gonna have the recording up pretty soon.
Yeah, but yeah, I can send you a PDF or directly. So Teresa, what's the best way of doing that?
You can send it to Marion and she can send it along to us.
Perfect.
If you'd like to do that. Also, I'd like to see you run your special on our Facebook page too, so more people see it. So Marion.
And she could upload that too. Teresa, she could upload that paper right in there in the comments of the,
yes,
when we post it.
Okay. Jack and I are pretty good. And so if I need some help, someone there will help me. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So my last one is we have the garage that sticks out in front of the house, and then we have our front door, and we have the bedroom, which I use my office, and then the next bedroom sticks out in front of the house. Does that have anything to do with the quadrants that you were showing?
Yes, it does. Okay. Now,
may I need to change offices?
Having a bedroom, who or how is that room used that's in front of the front door on the other side? How's it being used?
That's my office. The other side would be like an entry, was a closet and a entryway for the garage.
Okay. Having your office sticking in front of the house is actually good. That gets you out in the world, so you're more visible.
So there's like a little porch outside my window here.
Send me a floor plan. Send me picture and or floor plan. I'll give you 10 minutes of, okay, this is what I see. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. That applies to all of you. You know, if you've got some question, 10 minutes, glad to do that.
Let's set up a one-on-one, Linda. I would love to know more.
Very good.
Okay. Who else has a question? Anyone else have a question?
Lucy, I think, has her hand raised.
Yes. Yeah, this is very interesting. we just bought our house almost a year ago, but it's my dream house, but it's just not things. I mean, I lost my mom in the middle of, acquiring it. It's addressed, we were on a cul-de-sac, a circle, and my address is number 7, Victoria. I mean, I guess I feel like that's a lucky number, but it's just that I don't feel I'm there yet. I mean, I've been through so many things, but maybe I could have a one-on-one with you as well.
Absolutely. Again, I'm glad to do either short, complimentary 10 minutes, or if an hour or something like that. And let me give you a couple other possibilities. We have what is known as predecessor energy. And if you've moved into a house where someone else has lived, you could be assimilating some of their energy. Do a home blessing. One of the last videos that I talk about in that 27 simple feng shui tips is about home blessings. But I also have a complete course on how to do a home blessing. Things like saging or using sound or aromatherapies are ways of changing that energy. It could be that you just need to shift a couple things in the house and it will be just fine. The number 7, lucky number 7. So I wouldn't be concerned about any of the numbers unless you have a specific number that doesn't work for you. So does that help, Lucy?
Yes. Thank you.
And everything is fixable. I mean, if I lived in a house where the previous occupant shot his wife, killed himself, and I went in there bankrupt, having cancer, divorce, you can change this. Believe me, you can change any of the energies. I didn't have the money to be able to do that, but you can change the energy with intention and with super simple solutions.
Because it was a rental, and we did a remodeling. I mean, it's practically brand new, but pretty much.
Mhm.
So yes, okay.
It probably
Thank
just
you.
needs a few little tweaks here and there.
We'll
And
circle back.
remodeling can bring out things sometimes. Tearing out things
It's
can
true. That
release,
contractor. Mhm.
release energy. And so saging, I have all kinds of things in my arsenal. I have to use even in my business sometimes. So yes, I have a question. I have a huge front door, and if you look directly at it, there's no obstacles to it. The kitchen leans off to the left. There's the big double doors on the back. Is there something bad about that, creating something?
If what I'm hearing, and maybe something you've heard, and if it's not, then we'll clarify probably offline. If you have a front door and you can open the door and you can see straight through, either through windows or sliding glass doors or another door, the energy could be coming in too quickly and going out too quickly. So some of the quick feng shui solutions would be to hang a crystal in the doorway, the back door. Now, I don't like to use a lot of crystals, because they scream feng shui, and my design background just kind of grates against that. So, we want to find something else that we can do. But again, that color red, maybe it's something that you could put a picture with some red above the door, or maybe there's a red rug, or maybe there's a plant or a red pillow on a sofa that you throw out, so that you catch the attention with the color red. If you have to walk around a piece of furniture, oftentimes, like if we have a table and we can put a crystal vase on it, that crystal will refract the energy and move it around so that it's not going straight in one door and out the other. Those are a couple of quick solutions. Every situation is different. So if you've got something going on, again, pictures, drawing, we'll figure it out.
Yes, red rug. I have a flooring store, so that's an easy one.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, awesome. Red rugs for everyone. So
is there a discount? Do I get a finder's fee here?
We have time for one or two, and then we'll go to our raffle. Anybody else? We have
I want to ask a question. Our house is situated so that when you walk up these stairs, you walk onto a balcony, and then there's the front door. We never walk on the balcony. We never go through the front door because we walk up a deck and come in to the side of the house, which is landing us right in where the refrigerator is. And then we turn into the kitchen. It's just more convenient. Nobody ever walks through the front door.
Okay, from a feng shui perspective, and so here's where you get into the situation of convenience versus feng shui. It might be something for you to try. From a feng shui perspective, the front door is the main mouth of qi. That's how the energy is designed to come into the house, and that's how opportunities come in. So the front door really does play a major role in us being able to manifest what we want in our lives. That's why you go to a Chinese restaurant and you'll find that round door opening. It's the mouth of qi. It's like, the air is able to come in and out of it. We want to have things around there that attract good energy. It might be the statue, it might be flowers that have a great fragrance like jasmine or lavender, something that blows with the wind. If you can do something from where you would park the car, not coming through the garage or something like that, but coming from the car or coming from the street, and have what I would call like the breadcrumb trail that would go from that street to the front door, that would have a number of things that make you smile, things that do address the senses, whether it's something that you see, something that moves, something that you can touch, so that you're kind of walking, go, oh, look at that. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I love that. Isn't that a wonderful smell? And then use that front door at least once a day. It may be more convenient for you to use the other one, but once a day, use that other one. Go and make sure that UPS hasn't left something, or the neighborhood cat. Okay.
Thank you. One more question.
Yeah.
And we have Joanne was waiting.
Well, if Sandra has a question, she can go first.
Sandra?
It's just a short one.
Let's see. Go with it.
Which school do you teach or do you practice? I should say, because you mentioned this one.
I use all the different schools.
Oh,
There's situations where some work better than others. I've studied with 22 masters around the world, and I've found what works and what doesn't work. I mean, I've been doing Feng Shui now close to 40 years, and there's always a place to use one of the things, and there's places where one school doesn't work. So I pull them all together, and when I'm teaching my classes, I give you ideas so that you find something that works for you, because the most powerful is when you get emotionally attached to the solution. And that's what we want to do, because that's when the energy really flows for you.
Have you written a book?
I wrote a book back in '98 called The Gift of the Red Envelope. You can find a few used copies, and I do have some that I can send to you. There'd be some things that I would change, but it's still a good book.
Awesome. So we have to go quick on this last one, Joanne.
Okay, well, I just want to say this was really fascinating. I had started my interior decorating business right about the time you started your Feng Shui business, and I had a green perspective. And then I was also, it's fascinating for me to see the differences and some similarities between the system that you're using and Maharishi Vedic architecture. And thank you for that. And when I started my interior decorating business, it was really hard to find rugs that didn't have outgassing or any of that. So, and I also incorporated a lot of Maharishi Ayurveda into my decorating for my clients too. So thanks for a great presentation. It was really interesting.
You're welcome. Yeah, the Vastu Shastra is the Indian equivalent to Feng Shui in many many ways, and I've studied that as well. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey, and it's been a powerful journey, and I would love to share some of it with you if that's something that would work for you. So have a wonderful day, and let me know.
Yes, it was really good. This was a really good lunch. It felt cozy. We were kind of on the same page. It felt really good. It had a good vibe. I love it. Thank you so much. And Marion, if you give her the link so she can go in and sign up for our Facebook group, that way she can advertise her great discount that she's given us. Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that class first? I'm going to. Yeah. And then don't forget, Marion, you've got a couple hours to sign up for hers. Go in there and take a look at hers too. Okay.
I have taken Linda's classes before, and I always learn something. I did your clutter class about 4 or 5 years ago, and now I'm back to the point of, okay, I've accumulated some more. I need to come back.
It's a never-ending battle. It really is. It's like rabbits. It multiplies.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you very much. I've enjoyed this group immensely, and it's wonderful to see so many of the people that I do know and to reconnect with all of you. Several of you have had a major impact on my life, and I know that you know that. But I just want to acknowledge that. I understand that I can join the group, so I would like to find out more about that as well.
Oh, yes, great. If you're out of the area, and don't forget, even if you're in the Santa Cruz area, and we have a chapter right now, join at the $97 a year, the out of area pricing. So if you're thinking about that, don't click on the wrong one. Go ahead and click on the $97. So just go to pwnmonterey.org. Big thank you for everyone for attending and making PWN what it is. And we will see you soon. We'll see you for Pat Farmer's training.
Take care.
Take care.